Hello and welcome back to Bath Time with Brielle. So today something life-changing happened to me. I don't know if I could even talk about it without crying, but James Blake tweeted at me. So I had this dream last night that James Blake and his partner Jamil, the most beautiful couple ever, I had this dream that we did yoga and then we got drinks together. And it was like the best dream ever, and it felt so fucking real, like really, you know those dreams where you're just like, we wake up and you're like, whoa, that felt so real. And so, you know, as one does, I woke up and like tweeted about it, and then like minutes later, James Blake was like, yeah, it was fun, let's do it again sometime. The utter fact that James Blake recognized my existence. And then tonight, Jamil said, we miss you already? Like what? Moving right along. So today's bath bomb from Lush is called Milky Bath. I can't show it to you because I already put it in. It smells really good and it's vegan and it's made from cocoa butter, soy milk, and olive oil. There's also some plastic-free glitter in here, so I'm gonna be sparkly too. First question of the episode is, what is your ethnicity? I have a really shitty Caribbean accent, so I'm gonna refrain from that. But yeah, I have family members from Barbados, Union Island, Jamaica. I don't know, I feel like it's some like real white people shit to know like what percentage you are of everything because they actually have records and stuff. And their families weren't torn apart. So, next question. Do you only date white dudes? Some of you guys roast me so hard for this, so fuck you. I don't know guys, I wish I could stop. I need help, okay? I don't know, it's like something about the polo shirts and the Sperry's, I guess. Or maybe it's the privilege, maybe it's the superiority complex. Maybe it's the way they reminisce about what it was like to be in a frat. The next question is, what is the difference between a fetish and attraction? Ooh, I love this question. So I'm sure like every minority has dealt with this issue. For me, it showed up like, oh my god, I've never kissed a black girl, or I only date black girls love me. For me, fetishes surrounding race are like the biggest turn-off ever. So the difference would be, for attraction, the attributes of the person do not determine whether you like the person or not. Like maybe that could be one reason you like them, but it's not the only reason you like them. For example, if you were like, oh my god, I really like Brielle. She's funny, she's cool, she's super sexy, and she's so fashionable. And she's also black. The fetish would be, Brielle is black, and that's the only reason I like her. Do you see the difference there? Another thing about fetishes is you like someone because you think their race determines like the stereotype about them. Like saying, I like black women because they could fuck is a stereotype. And it's degrading. I hope that makes sense. Next question. When is it okay to touch my partner's hair? As a black woman with 4C hair, it's twisted up right now, but there's some styles that I go through that I just don't want y'all fucking with. One time I had my hair in this like high puff with this elastic band around it, and the guy I was with like pulled the hairband out, and if you know, like the hair isn't just gonna like pop out into full fro mode. 4C textured hair like stays in its spot. So even though the elastic band was like out of my hair, I still had a very high puff situation going on, and I didn't feel sexy anymore, and I was like, why did he do that? Oh my god, white boys, am I right? But also, like, if I have my full afro out, I don't want you to be afraid to touch it when we're fooling around. Like, I'm glad you respect it, but also I want you to pull it. Last question. How do you deal with the hypersexualization of black women? A little background. So you guys remember that whole like little slave thing that happened? Yeah, so that, like, believe it or not, caused a lot of problems. Black women coming over on the slave ships were inherently built different. A lot of women had larger breasts, larger buttocks, so black people were made to be the antithesis of European beauty. So by hypersexualizing the black female body, a lot of the men who were raping these women, that kind of erased their fault. A really important figure to know is the Hottentot Venus. And this is really important because this is really culturally relevant. So she was this woman, Sart J. Bartman. She had a big butt compared to a lot of Europeans. She was captured and they basically like had her at parties and like poke and prod at her and make fun of her body, and she was meant to be like the opposite of what beauty was. And she died at a really young age, like 21, 22 or something like that. And when she passed away, they dissected her body and put it on display in a museum. This was on display until like the 1980s. I know, it's crazy. So yeah, her body was made fun of while it was being lusted after. So when you see white women in media and you see them being praised for having really big asses, we have a very deeply, deeply rooted history of betrayal of black bodies. So yeah, that's why like a lot of black people don't take that kind of stuff lightly. We kind of just don't think it's funny. How I deal with it is kind of like just autonomously putting out my own sexuality. And this isn't how you have to deal with it if you identify as a black woman, but I think for me, having ownership over my body and my sexuality and what I post on Instagram and the kind of art I make about my body, it kind of reverses the frame of the other or the white man having control over my own body. So if I'm sexualizing myself, I have the power. At least that's how I feel. It's still such a messy topic, like young black girls are still super hypersexualized. It's really quite disgusting. And the sexualization you see put on black bodies is still so much different than what you see put on white bodies. But the awesome thing is a lot of black women are taking ownership over their bodies and are monopolizing over it, which is really fucking cool, which I fucking love. Thank you all for coming to my TED Talk. I really, really love this bath bomb. I feel so silky smooth and my bubbles have lasted so long. Thank you so much, Lush. So this week, my very, very important advice is, if you have not already listened to the great voice of James Blake, go listen to a James Blake song. Have a good week, my little bubbles.